I've always found that music that's in a 6/8 time signature is just a little bit different and, dare I say, a little more interesting than 4/4 time. 4/4 time being your common time, or the beat you'll hear most often in most pop and rock songs on the radio. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. I definitely enjoy 4/4 time. It's just there's something about 6/8 that really makes you kind of sway back and forth when you hear it. It almost has this slower feel to it just by its very nature. It's definitely one of my favorite time signatures. Allow me to play for you now just a quick cover of the drum beat in the song so you can hear what I'm talking about with the 6/8 drum beat. Okay, and just to compare that to a standard 4/4 drum beat, let's listen to that real quick as well. It's interesting to note that both of those clips were played in the exact same beats per minute, so essentially they were the exact same speed. Did one of them sound slower than the other to you? But once you learn to recognize it, you'll be able to spot it instantly whenever you hear it, and I definitely do. And for most drummers, it's nearly impossible to play the same beat you would on a song that was written in the normal 4/4 time that they're used to. So as a result, it sounds something similar to a waltz that maybe goes twice as long, I might say. And it almost sounds more like something played in a halftime feel, which in the 4/4 time would mean waiting an extra beat between the bass drum and snare drum hits, essentially giving the impression that the song is actually slower than it really is. So of course, My Name is Jonas was written in a 6/8 time signature, and boy, when you listen to it, it definitely makes you sway. It's the song that started off the band's self-titled debut album, and it has a beautiful acoustic guitar intro written by Jason Cropper, a former member of the band and a founding member who was asked to leave shortly before the release of the Blue Album. And in addition to the lovely 6/8 time signature, you've also got some down-tuned guitars which add to the song's groove and give it a little bit more of a heavy feel. Paired with an excellent melody and scholarly lyrics that tell an interesting story, you've got, to me, one of the best songs Weezer has ever written. And Rivers Cuomo wrote the song after hearing that his brother had insurance troubles after a serious car accident that he was in during college. And the song, quote, explains how the plan is renaming us all, especially my brother. And I can remember hearing the song for the first time and being a little confused by the lyrics. I always pictured like construction workers going on strike and this just whole scene with people wearing hard hats, and I don't know. It just struck me as the ideal rallying cry for those employed in the building trades, but that's just me. In any case, singing along with the phrase, "the workers are going home," and yelling it out loud, followed by the "yeah, yeah, yeah" part, is a particularly fun part of the song to sing. And that's when the song kicks into double time, and it has a pseudo-punk rock feel with a harmonica solo on top to boot. It's amazing, and it serves as a fitting coda to the song before we get one last recapitulation of the introduction. For some reason, I could never quite get the hang of the lyrics. They make sense when you sit down and read them, but back when I first heard them, they weren't posted on the internet or anything, so instead of hearing them saying, "of course we were willing to pay," which are the actual lyrics, I always heard, "of course we were wearing toupees." I mean, of course they were wearing toupees. Why wouldn't they? All construction workers wear toupees, I guess. And in 2021, Taking Back Sunday released a cover of the song along with an accompanying music video. Taking Back Sunday is definitely one of my favorite bands, so hearing them cover one of my favorite songs, well, that's never going to be a bad thing to me. Having said that, I feel like I do have to point out that even though it's a good cover, the song doesn't sound that much different from the original. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, though. But in my opinion, the best cover versions are those that make the original song sound like the band that's covering it could have written it themselves. However, I'm having a bit of trouble thinking of what TBS could have done differently to significantly alter the song. It's just got a rhythm and a tempo and overall feel that's a lot different from what you normally hear from Taking Back Sunday. But I guess it's a good thing for Weezer that a band like Taking Back Sunday is bringing attention to a song that I don't think was ever released as a single, and it's been nearly 30 years since it was first put out, so it might gain Weezer some new fans, as well as give us some insight into the influences and origins of Taking Back Sunday. So in the end, I'm definitely all for the cover, and I do think it's pretty neat that they chose to do that song. There's also some footage online of Weezer playing the song live, and Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance takes the stage and shares lead vocals with Rivers.
My name is Jonas!
It's definitely an interesting pairing because their two vocal styles are worlds apart, but in any case, it's not hard to hear why this song has served as inspiration for more than one of the most important emo bands in history. It's a song that has stayed in the hearts of many for close to 30 years. It's definitely in mine, and I have no doubt that it always will. Alright, well, the workers are going home. It's time to jump off my dozer, clock out, grab my toupee, and maybe hop on the mine train. Of course, we will listen to My Name is Jonas for the entire ride.